Yesterday, I made the discovery where typically the average person, whenever they read through Matthew 7, the first opening part is talking about judging others. But I think most people take that really out of context. They're like, oh, we're not allowed to judge people at all. We can't condemn. We can't, correct people's behavior. No. That's not what it's saying. Listen up. Starts in verse 3. It says, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there's a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. If I'm really struggling with watching porn and I can't stop and I'm going deep into despair, but then my buddy over here, he's just every once in a while he looks at women or commits adultery in your heart. Jesus talks about that. His sin is not as severe as mine, right? But here I am drowning in my own sin, and who am I to call him out and be like, yo, why are you doing that? When me myself, I'm not taking action and trying to prevent my own sin, right? I'm not taking the plank out of my own eye. Why am I worried about the speck of sawdust in his eye when I have my own problems? And that's exactly what Jesus is talking about. This is not talking about we're not allowed to judge others. No, that's not what it's saying at all. But this is saying if you're going to judge people for their, problems, make sure that you have yourself in check too. And that's not saying that we have to have it all perfect and 100% and put together. But Jesus does talk about in Matthew 5, verse 48, he says, be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. So ultimately, we should be trying to emulate Christ. We should be ultimately trying to copy every move that he makes, right? Because he was flawless, he was sinless, he was righteous. He is our ultimate example on how to be a Christian. So before we go judge others, we need to take a heart posture check, and we need to say, are we guilty of the sin that we're about to call them out on? Maybe be a little more graceful when you go and address their sin. And hey, maybe you guys can work through it together. Who knows? But all by the grace of God, of course. So with that being said, guys, have a blessed morning.